Hello everyone, this is another episode of the Insanely Sane show. My name is Saeed. This is, you could say, a kind of immediate reaction or a immediate trailer breakdown for Godzilla 2 King of the Monsters. The second trailer just dropped and I couldn't really go past without breaking this trailer down. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the trailer has just started and it's something very familiar. This is Millie Bobby Brown trying to communicate out to the outside world. We've seen this a lot in the trailers. She seems to be trapped in some kind of a complex and I don't really know how she got there. Maybe this is taking place after the events of the first Godzilla, San Francisco. It was in ruin at the end, so maybe she's trapped in the city. This kind of made her parents split up because they blamed each other over the responsibility of losing her. So I have a feeling that's what it is. She's probably trapped in San Francisco and she ends up reuniting with her mother. So everything in the sea is dead. There are no signs of ships. There seems to be a storm that just passed. Again, we don't know when this is taking place. Maybe after Rodan escapes, because Rodan has been described as being an A-bomb with wings. So maybe after Rodan has flown past, he's killed everything in the skies and in the seas. This is Rodan's A-bomb power destroying the town. This is a very frightening sight. Washington DC absolutely blown to pieces. The White House seems to have some kind of a hole blown right through it. I don't know what could have caused that. Fire blast of some sort. Maybe Godzilla done his fire breath and it went right through the White House. I'm not quite sure, but this is a very nightmare scenario. And if you look in the clouds, you can kind of see the silhouette of King Ghidorah arriving just over there. You see that in the thunder. Millie Bobby Brown reacts to the sound of people panicking and the sounds of monsters on the surface level. So again, she does seem to be stuck in some kind of an underground bunker or some kind of an underground place, possibly San Francisco from the first movie, as she's trying to communicate with her parents. This is absolutely amazing. This is Rodan breaking out from his volcano. Now, this is very interesting. There are spiked claw-like things breaking out the floor. This could be another Muto. I'm not quite sure, but it doesn't look like anything that we kind of know of in the universe. One thing I'm hoping this is not is Godzilla versus Mothra versus Rodan versus King Ghidorah, and then in the end there's this new thing breaking out the ground, which happens to be something like Biolante or something like that. That would be too much, I think. So I don't know what this is. Probably a new Muto. I'm not sure, but it does look huge. Oh, this looks awesome. What is that coming out of the ground? Is that Godzilla? People say that this is a tribute to Godzilla Earth from the anime. It looks like Godzilla, I'm not sure. But it's also a tribute to the original Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. I think that's what it's called, when he initially faced off against Mothra, Rodan and King Ghidorah. Basically, in that movie, Godzilla rises from the ground and there's all this soil and all this kind of stuff just kind of, just rolling off his body. And yeah, so that could be Godzilla. That could be him rising from the ground like he did in the original movie. Only time will tell, but that looks amazing. That looks more like Godzilla Earth from the anime. So okay, that looks pretty good. So that's Mothra in her, is that a cocoon? With Mothra we could possibly see her in her initial stage, and then she basically cocoons up just like in the original. She cocoons up and then she breaks into this large moth or this large butterfly-esque creature. And I'm very excited to see Mothra actually, because in this trailer we get a look at how her real design is in the movie. So this would be interesting. So this is possibly her transformation. She has 3 stages. One is the initial stage before her cocoon. Then the second one is when she actually gets the wings. And then the other one is basically this golden kind of god-esque, like phoenix type of formation. This is probably what we're witnessing, and this is probably later on in the movie. Oh, now this is King Ghidorah. Look at the tail. Jesus Christ. If you're a Godzilla fan, especially like me, I mean, I don't want to say I'm a hardcore Godzilla fan because I don't have all the toys and that kind of stuff, but I am a huge Godzilla fan. I was one of those guys that would rush off home and watch the videotapes of the classics over and over and over again. I'm one of those guys who's more of a fan of Godzilla, the Godzilla versus other monsters movies, and not necessarily the original one. But that's my taste. But yeah, I mean, I've been waiting to see Godzilla and King Ghidorah and Mothra and Rodan in this CGI formation for almost my entire life. So looking at this just gives me goosebumps. This is the temple right here. So I kind of knew this already. People were debating what this kind of underground temple was beneath the sea. Some people were saying it's Rodan's temple. Some people were saying it's Mothra's temple. I always kind of had a feeling it was Godzilla's temple, probably like the lost city of Atlantis type of thing. Maybe there was a land where Godzilla used to roam around and people used to worship him, much like they did with King Kong in Kong Skull Island. So yeah, I always had a feeling that it was Godzilla's temple. Godzilla storming through the seas right there. King Ghidorah, wow! Just that little snippet alone, look at that. That is deadly. There's something coming out from the sky that could be either a flashback, so how King Ghidorah initially came to this earth, because he's known as Monster Zero, and basically that's what the aliens in the original called him, Monster Zero. So I think the original movie was called Godzilla vs Monster Zero. And basically King Ghidorah, he's this alien. Basically it's this alien species of kaiju. And I think that could either be a flashback or maybe basically, so if you see earlier on in the trailer, King Ghidorah is basically frozen in the Antarctic somewhere. This thing that's been sent down from his alien planet has come down to kind of break him out of the ice. He looks menacing. The rage in Godzilla. Now this is something I wanted to see in the Gareth Edwards movie. We didn't quite see it, but you can tell Godzilla is pissed. You know, this world belongs to him, and you're gonna have to walk over his dead body if you want it from him. He's about to face off against King Ghidorah. There it is. That's the Mothra design. Here it is. And she looks a lot like, well, Mothra. She looks like Mothra. A lot of people were concerned because she had the arms, she had the limbs, which the original Mothra didn't have. I mean, the original Mothra did have limbs, but they were very small, they were tiny. They were kind of like centipede legs. But in this version, she actually has full limbs, and of course the director said that he wanted to do this so she could face off against Godzilla. So you have to kind of make Mothra basically who can engage in combat. So that's why it's given her limbs, and people had a complaint that she looked too much like the Mutos. I don't think so. I never thought so just by looking at the toys, the images of the toys they released. But I mean, looking at the movie right now, this is Mothra. This is how Mothra looked in the original. And yeah, she's gonna have limbs. Yes, I'm absolutely fine with that. And if they're gonna, this is the look for her, I'm more than psyched. Oh my god, Rodan spins and breaks the airplane. So Rodan knows what he's doing, you know. These monsters, they're intelligent. They know exactly what to do. They're not like dumb animals, okay? They're not just stupid animals flying around and running around and so on and so forth. They actually have some kind of intelligence. They have some kind of intuition and initiative, deal with threats coming their way. And this whole spinning thing that Rodan does, he knew exactly what to do to get rid of the planes on the sides, as I can see here. Are those planes? No, the missiles. To get rid of the missiles, yeah. This is the money shot. Godzilla running towards his enemy, King Ghidorah, standing up, and they have contact. This is absolutely amazing. I am so psyched for this movie. I am so psyched for this movie. I've been a lifelong Godzilla fan. I've been waiting to watch this particular movie for a very long time. I thought this was the movie we were going to get in 2014. In 2014 we got more of a kind of, structurally we had more of a kind of traditional Godzilla story in 2014. Many people had complaints because Godzilla was only in it for the last 10 minutes, and you know, the battles didn't, the battle didn't last long. You know, people went in to see a monster fight. I enjoyed it. I was surprised to see that we got a traditional Godzilla movie, but of course you have to understand, you have to make a movie for today's audience. And I think Kong Skull Island, the way they made that movie, that was perfect. So for today's audience, something like Kong Skull Island will do. And I think this falls much in line with that, where there's a lot more kaiju fights and there is some human drama. Okay, so if they have the balance between the two, this can be a Godzilla movie for the ages. So thank you very much. Sorry if this sounded a bit rushed, but I just wanted to get this out there. This trailer was absolutely amazing. Bye bye.